Today, we are diving into a topic that's as futuristic as it is relevant. What Gen Z and Alpha expect from HR leaders. These generations are redefining workplace dynamics with their unique expectations, values, and aspirations. From flexibility and purpose-driven roles to their demand for inclusivity and technology-led experiences, they are shaping the future of HR. But how do we, as HR leaders, meet their expectations without losing sight of organizational goals? That's exactly what we are here to discuss today with our incredible panelists. Please join me in welcoming our panelists who bring a wealth of experience and fresh perspective to this critical conversation. First, we welcome Ms. Priyanka Sharma, HR Manager at Fusion Global Business Solutions. She brings over 2 decades of diverse HR experience across industries. Her expertise in HR strategy, policy development, and organizational development makes her a perfect fit for today's discussion. Ms. Priyanka. Now, we have Nupur, Phatak, founder and CEO of Nuarsh TechServe. As a true people champion, she excels at aligning talent strategies with business growth, delivering impactful training, and driving HR transformations. Let's give a warm welcome to Ms. Nupur. Next, we have Mr. Harmeet Chhabra, Global Talent Head at Flexton INC. An IIM Indore MDP alumnus, he combines strategic acumen with a deep understanding of global leadership hiring to drive innovation at Ascendian. Harmeet's dedication to aligning talent strategy with business growth makes him an invaluable voice in today's discussion. Please welcome Mr. Harmeet. Then we have Mr. Swapnil Jain, Chief Operating Officer at 47 Billion. With over 27 years of experience in both HR and operations, Swapnil has built a distinguished career by developing and executing forward-thinking strategies that deliver sustainable growth. An alumni of IIM Calcutta, he has been awarded as Top HR Leaders of India Award. Let's welcome Mr. Swapnil. Now, let's welcome our moderator, Mr. Suyesh Shabnani, Chief Learning Officer at Think HR Ask Suyesh. Suyesh Shabnani, a multifaceted HR evangelist and management professional with over 17 years of rich experience, brings unparalleled expertise to our panel. As a certified Six Sigma specialist and life coach, he has conducted over 40,000 interviews and facilitated the recruitment of 6,000 plus professionals. Let's welcome Suyesh, whose passion for people and storytelling adds depth to our conversation.
That's the second thing. And third thing is ingraining a value that yes, each small contribution can have a cumulative big effect. Sharing how their 1% cumulatively becomes much more. And I have a very short story. Some of you may have heard this as well. So there's a father and a daughter who are going on a beach at sunrise. The high tide has now gone and there are a lot of starfish which are on the beach. So the daughter starts to pick up one starfish, throws it back in the water, moves to the other, throws that back. And her dad asks, what are you doing? You're not going to be making any impact. There are thousands of starfish here. So she looks at him, she picks up another one, she throws it in the water, and she says, Dad, I made an impact to that one. Right? So they need to feel that every small action can create ripples throughout. So I think that is how they feel involved with the mission and the values of the organization. Thank you.
Involving them is the takeaway, and along with that, I got a chance to participate on the core value revamping of an organization. Looking towards that generation, we named that core value with a very decent and a very likely food, that is pasta. So now the full form of pasta stands for passion, appreciation, simplicity, trust, and accountability. So keep them involved in such a way as per them. So what is the core value of your organization? They simply stood that pasta. While removing this particular
Thank you.
While removing this particular thing from more of the technology myopia. So again, the next question of mine is the same. Like how we involve them while not putting so much of technology things. Like I'm not talking about AI, ML, robotics and all that stuff. Like it is all about what my takeaway of human resources is human responses. So Harmeet, what's your thought? Like keeping this technology aside and keep them in with the system.
Sure, Suyesh. So, I repeat in most of my speaking, like we being in HR, I hope I'm audible at the last. Okay. So, being in HR, we are very much blessed because there are only two things which technology can never do. And what is it? It is empathy and innovation. And this is the answer. So, not being too much technology driven, they are already technology driven. I think now the child born in 1995 should be having a phone in his hand by 2000, maybe 14, 15 years of age. We got our first one when I was more than 25. So these people have technology and a high-end technology. They are actually polluted with data nowadays. It's a different topic to discuss, but I firmly believe that our Gen Zs and Alpha generation should be now protected from data pollution. That's it. So we don't want to, in our organization, we should have a proper HR systems. We should have a proper data-driven, algorithmic-driven PMS systems. We should have a proper, robotics for our recruitments and all this technology. But if we want to engage with Gen Zs, we have to serve them better. We have to serve them empathy. I was reading somewhere where was a big company in India who has actually started a reverse mentoring process. Have anyone heard about it? Reverse mentoring? Where Gen Zs were training their leaders on these new technologies. This gives them a sense of achievement when they go back to their home and when their friends, their roommates, their parents, their girlfriends, boyfriends ask them what you have done today. I taught my senior manager about the new formulas used instead of the old formulas of Excels and all. This is how you have to engage them, not with the technology but with this empathetic way. And then again, one more very important thing, being in HR you need to be an innovator and you are coding on human minds. It's not like software coding that you do it on any Dell machine, Lenovo machine, the result will be the same. HR is basically doing coding every new second on a new human being. And human beings are different. They have different mindset, so the output can be different. The same code that you are writing on one person may be different for other. So this is the two things, empathy and innovation, that always need to be at the top priority for HR department to make sure that they are engaged with different generations differently, still collaborating, considering the single business objective of the organization.
So empathy and innovation, this is the takeaway, and your reverse mentoring is something personal comment on. I'm blessed and honored as a proud father of a Gen Z Alpha generation kid. She's teenage, and every time she used to teach me more features about my phone, rather which I am not aware about, but still. While dealing with this generation, now I'm throwing a very common question to all of the panelist members, that how we make sure, being as an HR leader, because HR leaders are somehow people branding or people ambassador of an organization as well, and the front face of an organization, how we make sure to attract talented pool of this generation where they are very clear what they are not supposed to. They are very clear what they have to do. They are very clear to say, no, this is out of my scope. How we ensure to attract them in the organization. Let's take an example of a recruitment process. So what is your thought? I'm just throwing this question not only with the panel, if anybody from the board,
If I
guys
can,
also take initiative.
start with that, Suyesh. In all the pre-placement discussions or the college to corporate transition events that we've been to, there are a few key things that keep coming up, and flexibility is one that we have touched as a panel, so probably I'll not go too much into that. The work-life balance, right? Can I take my leaves? Do I have to take approval, or can I just tell the managers that I'll be off? Or can I come late, right? Nupur talked about that. One thing that comes up is unique benefits which are not standard. Earlier we had a set of template benefits, and which were pretty much okay for us millennials, but there was one new benefit that some of our new Gen Zs came up with, which was a creativity benefit. So we have something for the health, yes, health and fitness benefit. Don't look at me when I say that, but yes, the others do use it. There was one thing they came up with, which was creativity benefit. So if I want to take photography lessons, if I want to learn cooking, if I want to learn dancing, again, something pretty unique, right? But then these are the unique kind of benefits that attract them. We have Techiversary. So you can buy a gadget and you will get reimbursed for that on your work anniversary. So again, very tailored benefits, which is what attracts the current generation. Second is, our team works with global counterparts across 3 continents. But what attracts them most is probably, am I going to be working exactly at par with someone sitting in UK or Germany or Spain? Because the perception that has been built is, in India you get cheap offshore labor, which was what it was earlier. But now they are very clear that they want to understand, will we be doing exactly the same things that people there are doing? And when we say yes, that is what probably makes them attracted, that yes, I can make that contribution exactly at par with my counterparts in the other companies. So yeah, these are the things that I have probably seen in my experience.
Yeah, so I think apart from what Priyanka has mentioned, benefits, rewards, I think culture also plays a very important role in dealing with not only Gen Z, but I will always say dealing with all employees. Culture has to be flexible. It should not be written in stone, right? And if it is written in stone, it is not flexible, then we have a bigger problem at hand as HR. So I think culture has to be flexible. We have to be adaptable, ready to switch on to what is coming our way and how to deal with it. Also, I'll give you a very small example here. Millennials especially, you remember our houses earlier, like many years ago, we had like very basic kitchens with bare shelves. And we were happy with it. Everyone had the same kitchen in their homes. And then suddenly now, cut to today, we all have modular kitchens, very fancy kitchens. What happened? Did we need them? Maybe not. But are we benefited with the change? Definitely yes. So it's as simple as that. We move forward with time. And if as an organization we don't move forward with time, we don't cater to the need of the hour, then obviously then you have a bigger problem, like I said. And like Priyanka earlier mentioned, I also believe that if you give Gen Z a seat at the table, if you include them even in defining policies, even knowing what they want, rather than just going them and telling them this is the policy handbook and this is what you have to follow. So then you are basically dictating a generation which is not used to it. They have their own minds, they have their own thoughts, they're clear what they want to do and what they don't want to do. So going back to that generation saying this is the rules, and especially policies are not rules, I must say, because you know that thing about rules, right? They're made to be broken. So policies are basically guidelines and we should treat them like that. So if policies are not flexible, culture is not flexible, then you're you have bigger problems, right? Like हमारे ज़माने में टीचर क्या करती थी, अभी भी करती होगी, but I'm sure हमारे ज़माने में ज़्यादा होता था कि आपको मॉनिटर बना देती थी क्लास का. क्यों? What was she doing? She was actually making you the custodian of the culture so that you become her, representative and ensure that the class is quiet and behaving. Why? Because the student felt empowered. The student felt included and important in that moment. मुझे monitor बनाया. So that's what I think we need to do. We need to include them on this side of the table rather than just treating them that you are just employees and these are the rules and culture policies that you have to follow. So I think culture, flexible culture is also something that we should, focus on.
So my last 2 cents for this is that, just a couple of months earlier I was amidst thousands of students because we were doing campus hiring for my last organization. I was among Gen Z. One biggest thing that I have observed and which we included in our, all the sales pitch or our campus pitches that we were doing across India is that what is the value proposition they will get if they will join my organization. I heard 10 years earlier when you used to go for campuses, we used to just talk about the package, some benefits, location,
Holidays? List of holidays, all these things. But now, what impact you people will make on my resume? I'm doing a business transaction. I'm joining your organization. You are paying me for it. It's just a business transaction. What the customer delight? What something extra I will get when I will join your organization other than salaries and all these benefits? So we have to create a value proposition that how we will increase the weightage in your profile which will make you more sellable after 2 years, 3 years when you will go out of my organization, or if you will stay, what extra you can do in my company and how I will be benefited because of you, and I can give this ownership, recognition to you because of you my company is growing. So when we created this type of value proposition, how you can work on newer technologies, how you can work on some CSR activities, how you can work on other potential opportunities in and outside the organization. When we gave these value propositions, then they were more attracted to sit in our campus pitches. When we were competing against, big giants. Give them value propositions.
Yes, along with all this transactional stuff of salaries, infrastructures and all those things.
So, maybe your intake on it?
So, a lot of interesting inputs has already been given by Priyanka, Nupur and Harmeet. So, I just like to add one important aspect which is very important for the Gen Z is taking care of their mental health. It is a very, very important topic for today's generation. An organization must put, employee assisted program into their curriculum where, if you are not having employee assisted program, you can doing a lot of session for that, mental awareness, mental health. It is very, very important. So you should be taking care of that, and that is interesting thing. If you are doing it in your organization, you can highlight that, and definitely it is going to attract the Gen Z. And another important thing which organization can do is this particular generation is very innovative, and they are not against taking the risk. If you think of startup 20 years ago, there was no concept of startup done by youngsters. Only माँ बाप का business हुआ तो ही business करते थे. Otherwise, no one was doing the business as a startup. Nowadays, you will hearing a lot of startup story only day and night in India also and out of India also. So if company can provide some kind of centers, like say where they are encouraging the ideas and maybe putting some budget into that ideas, and if some idea is clicking, then definitely company is going to benefit. If they can provide that kind of platform to youngsters, then they are definitely going to attract to your organization because they know if I think something interesting and innovative, this company is having that platform where my ideas can be converted into the real thing. So kind of Shark Tank within your organization, which is definitely going to attract the new generation.
So inviting brains on it.
Definitely.
Great.
That's
So great. I have so much of takeaways with the challenge, and surprisingly amazed with the kind of I believe this green color is a brand identity of HR1 and correlated with our cleanest city of the country 7 years in a row, and To make more attractive, they already put a time watch with a red color mark. So it's almost a time up for my end. Our takeaway was very dynamic with this very interesting and very seasonal HR panel, that we need to involve them, showing trust on them if they are ready to take the risk. The value proposition on a very higher side, they look with the diversity inside the organization, and we have to showcase the culture, what we have exactly to attract them. This is all about the takeaway with this session. I'm open for audience if they have any query. Already time is up and I can take maximum 2 questions with the panel. Yes, please. Can we accommodate them with the mic?
डिनर कहाँ सर हो रहा है ये क्वेश्चन मैं पूछता
Thank
हूँ.
you so much. All right. Thank you, HR1, for inviting us over here with such a great panel to speak with. My first question to Ms. Nupur is basically, we explicitly spoke about flexibility in the organization, right? So there's this concept called moonlighting.